Hey, everybody. My name is Trevor Beckman, and welcome to Sideline Sports. This is the first sportscast of many, hopefully. As you can see, my office is still being under construction. So, pretty much as I go ahead and continue on with my live streams, you'll see this turn into more of a sports oriented background behind me. But in the meantime, I thought I'd go ahead and get my first live stream going. We'll talk about everything in Bay Area sports. We're going to be talking about 49ers. We're going to be talking about the Warriors. We're going to be talking about Giants and Oakland A's, maybe some San Jose Sharks news as well. Today I got the Niners stuff on because we're going to talk a little bit about the 49ers today and what's going on with them. But we'll talk a little bit about the Warriors, a little bit about the A's, a little bit about the Giants, and all those categories for the day. So let's jump right into it. So first thing, 49ers news. So far, training camp is going pretty good. Brock Purdy is back on his second year of full training camp, and he's looking stronger. He's put on some muscle. We should see him throwing the ball a lot tighter, a lot crisper. Not that he hasn't done that before. He's been looking pretty good. So I think so far, Brock Purdy going to be looking as good as he has been in the last few years. I fully expect the Niners to go deep into the playoffs again this year. The team hasn't changed much in training camp. Everybody knows what they're doing and what they should be doing. So it's kind of working like a well-oiled machine. Everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing getting up to the preseason games and up to the first game of the season, which is going to be awesome. That's Monday Night Football against the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is back, and he is looking pretty good. I thought at first, maybe a week ago, he was having some problems hitting his receivers. I think they were moving a little bit too slow or not as committed in the practices as he would have liked. So I know he wasn't happy. But as of yesterday, he went through a 90-minute inter-squad scrimmage, and he looked really good, and as if he hadn't been hurt before. And the Achilles is not affecting him in any way, shape, or form. So they're going to be a good team this year. I still think that the Niners are going to take that game, but I do think that's going to be a fun game for the first game of the season, Monday Night Football. There are some concerns right now with the Niners as far as some injuries. The main one is the offensive lineman Spencer Bufford. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong. He's got a fractured wrist, and he's out 2 to 3 weeks. That doesn't mean he's not going to play starting beginning of the season, but 2 to 3 weeks out with a fractured wrist is not good right off the bat. And if everybody out there is as frustrated as I am with the 49ers and their offensive line, we know that they don't put any money into their offensive line, and it's kind of frustrating. So with anybody hurt on the offensive line, it's kind of a big deal. And if we want Aaron Rodgers to come in here and kick our butts because Brock Purdy is hurt again, that's kind of what we're looking at with our offensive line if we don't get that tightened up. The Niners just don't seem to be putting the money into the offensive linemen ever. We've been talking about this for a couple of years now, and we haven't really picked anybody up. So it's kind of frustrating in that way, but I think that's going to get shored up hopefully, and hopefully they'll come out in the first game and they'll look good. We'll see how that goes, but offensive line has never been a strong point for the Niners, and of course, Brock Purdy got his start because 3 other quarterbacks went down injured, and he was next man up. So thank God that he got his opportunity because he is the man. We just don't want him to be the one to get hurt next, and then where do you go from there? Really difficult. So offensive line kind of sketchy, but there are other players that were hurt during training camp for a couple of days that are back, notably CMC, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Charvarius Ward, and then the wide receiver Purcell, who's doing pretty good as well. They're all back at practice. They were hurt, but or I would say hurt, not injured. They're back and they're doing really well. So the team's strong as far as injuries are concerned. It's just the offensive linemen. You never want to see those guys get hurt because we don't have a lot of good ones in the backup, and the starters are not top notch compared to other offensive linemen in the league. So you really need them to be on their A game and be healthy. So that's a little bit of concern, but again, he should be back in 2 or 3 weeks, which is, before starting the opening game against the Jets. So it'll be okay. A couple of, actually just one rookie that I would like to talk to a little bit about is Malik Mustafa. guy, Malik Mustafa. Mustafa, dude, sounds awesome. He looks amazing. The guy's in shape. He's chiseled. He is as strong as any the safety I've ever seen in the league. It's amazing what he's come in and done. First day, he got a pick, ran it back. So he's all over the place. He's a ball hawk, and he's looking really good for a rookie. I could not expect him to be any better as a rookie coming into training camp, and I would fully expect him to start at some point this year. I don't know if it's going to be in the first week. It could be, who knows, but he's looking pretty good. And I think that he definitely has a good opportunity there to start at some point this year, but I think he's going to get a lot of playing time anyway if he's not starting in the first game. So look out for that guy. He's really looking good in training camp, and he's a pretty awesome player so far from what I can see. Good pickup for the Niners in the draft. Really good pickup there. So aside from that, the team's looking good. And like I said, they're just playing like a well-oiled machine right now. They know what they need to do for training camp because they've all been together for years now. There's no surprises or anything that they're not used to. So when you have a team like that and they're getting ready for the season, that's always good because they're hitting the ground running and they know what's going on. So I think that bodes well for them going into the beginning of the season. And I do believe that they're going to be chasing that Super Bowl once again this year as well. We'll see. But we're going to talk about other things too. We're going to be talking about Warriors. We're talking about Oakland A's. We're talking about the Giants. The Giants pitching staff is looking really great right now. They have an awesome rotation. I don't know if they're really in the hunt for the World Series this year necessarily. I think most people would think that they're not. I would say probably not as well, just because they don't have the bats to back up the pitching rotation, but that can change. I do see them as a team that's kind of building up to the next 2 or 3 years of being like a really great team. I think they're going to pick some people up in the off season that's going to help with scoring a little bit more. They also have Bob Melvin now, who the players I know love when he was with the Oakland A's. Players love playing for him. He got a lot out of all of his players. I think it's the same way with the Giants when they picked him up. That was a good pickup for a coach. He should be around for a little while, I'm hoping. And I know the players want to play for him. I know they respond well to him. So I do think going forward, not this year, but maybe next year, the year after, they'll be really looking at trying to go for it and get a World Series ring. But I don't know about this year. But they do look good. The rotation, the pitching staff and rotation is looking really good there. The A's are a total mess. I mean, we don't even know where they're going to play. I mean, they say they're going to be in Las Vegas. I don't even know about that. This is their last year at the Oakland Coliseum, and then they're going to go play at the Rivercat Stadium up in Sacramento for a couple of years while supposedly the stadium in Las Vegas is going to get built. There's so many issues around the design of that Las Vegas stadium. Players are already talking about how they don't want to play there. It's not a dome. It's open. There's a cover, there's a roof, but it's not enclosed, so it's going to be hot no matter what. Players are not just going to want to be there. The owners even already asking for things from Las Vegas, like playing part of their home games in another stadium somewhere else, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if that conversation went anywhere, if that got approved, but that's just kind of crazy. But that's what this owner is. This owner is one of the worst owners in all of sports today, if not the worst, and probably one of the worst in history. He doesn't really want to win. He says that when they get the new stadium in Vegas, that they're going to come out and start looking for top-notch players and turning the team around. I just don't really believe that. He's never done that in Oakland. I don't think he's going to do that here either. I think he's looking to just sell. I know Major League Baseball will definitely hit him, tax him hard for trying to sell the team before, I believe it's 2030 or 2031 if he moves there. So it's possible he'll run the team for that long and then sell, but I don't believe he's going to want to make that team a winning team. Until I see it, I won't believe it. And I'm not even sure they're going to end up there. I do think that Oakland's going to end up – Sacramento's a good second place. Sacramento wants a baseball team really bad. The Kings are doing really well there. They're successful in the last few years. So I know they're looking to add another sports team. I know baseball is something they'd want to add. Maybe if Sacramento offers to build the stadium outright, that would change the direction of where the Oakland A's play baseball in the future. If the Las Vegas thing doesn't go through, there are no shovels in the ground in Las Vegas yet. So I mean, it's a done deal kind of thing, but still, there are so many things going on with what the owners are asking for from Las Vegas that who knows if Las Vegas decides to just say, forget it. We don't even want to go down this path anymore because the hiccups keep coming and the demands for different things just keep coming. There's a reason why the Raiders are popular in Vegas, and there's a reason why the Golden Knights are popular in Vegas. They're both indoors. They're both cool places for people to sit and watch sports. The A's are not going to have that. The A's are going to be outdoors, and that's just I don't see how that's successful. I don't get it unless they change the stadium plans, design, whatever. Maybe they will. They've changed it, I think, once or twice already. So I'm not sure if they're going to do that again, but I still think it's um, it wouldn't surprise me. I think that the way the owners run the A's are just I don't understand. I don't even know if they know what they're doing half the time, but we'll see. And on the Giants side, we already talked about them. They're heading in the right direction. I just think this year is not really the year for the Giants to go too far, but definitely the rotation, if they keep them together the next few years and they add a few bats to the lineup, they're definitely going to be right there playing for a World Series in the next couple of years. I totally think that. And then on to the Warriors news. Curry's in the Olympics right now. He's lighting it up. He's been doing really great. I think that's a sign of things to come for the Warriors up in this coming season. And Curry, I think he's going to come out and start coming out on fire, ready to win some games right away. The roster is, I think, pretty good for the first half of the season, if not the whole season. I do trust the roster a little bit. But I know there's other players they're trying to add to really get this thing going for Curry and get him deep into the playoffs or get him another ring ultimately. Lauri Markkanen's a name that's been around for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's a guy that he's a big man, almost 7 feet tall or at 7 feet tall. He can run, he can shoot, he can play defense. He's a great player, and I know the Warriors want to trade for him. But I know that also the Utah Jazz are asking for an awful lot. The problem with Lauri Markkanen is he has been injured every single year of his career. So there's not been a year since the time he entered the NBA that he's been 100% healthy the whole year. And so I think that's what kind of holds up the trade value for him. I mean, there's players that are mentioned in the trade. Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Pajemski, I know they really want, but I don't think the Warriors want to trade him because he is looking like somebody who could become an all-star in the near future. He's got great ball handling skills. He can shoot the ball really well. He did pretty good in his first year as a rookie, so I do think that he's going to come in and make an even bigger impact. So I don't think he's on the table necessarily. And then Jonathan Kuminga, they want, and I don't think the Warriors want to give him up either. So it's a matter of you know give and take here. I don't think the Warriors want to give up that. I know they would give up somebody like Wiggins and some draft picks, or maybe Quentin Post or Moses Moody. I think Moses Moody's probably somebody that's definitely in that trade package, but I just don't think they want to give up the farm for Markkanen just because of the injuries in the past. And they're asking, the Jazz are asking a lot. We could see something, I think, by like August 8th or 9th, I believe, is when his contract's going to be up for extension. If the Jazz extend him, that's pretty much the end of that trade, I believe. But also, I do think with the Warriors roster the way they are now, they can definitely make a push for the first half of the season to have a great record. I mean, there's a lot of teams that sleep the first half of the season. The Warriors come out on fire and try and get the wins now to try and just get ahead of the game. By the trade deadline, there's going to be lots of people that are going to be available for trade, I believe. We have Flagg coming out of college. He's the top prospect. He's looking like the next big thing. I know a lot of teams are going to want to tank for him. So if we get close to the trade deadline and teams are looking to tank, they'll let some players go, release them, or trade. So I think it's a waiting game. I think it's smart. Curry, I think, has a lot more time left. I know they're talking about how Curry's only got a few more years and the dynasty is over. I mean, that's partially true, but he has, I believe, more than 2 years. I think he's got like 3 or 4 years left of good basketball. He's not slowing down. He had one of his best years last year. He continues to grow and he continues to play amazing basketball. So I don't see any reason why he'd only have 1 or 2 years left. So patience is a key, I think. I don't think a lot of people want to be patient. But I remember the times where the Warriors were the worst team in the league for many, many years, the 80s, into the 90s, into the early 2000s. They started to get a little better, but you know, you go through a lot of those times and you see them win championships, and you just want to see them keep rolling and keep getting them. But a little bit of patience, just like half a season, can go a long way. If they're doing good and they can make a trade at the deadline, you know, that might be the way to go. Or it might be the way to go to just free up some cap space, because cap space is a problem for them, obviously. And then when you get into the next season, next off season, you trade for somebody major league. I mean, you trade for like an all star, somebody you can go out there and go get. And I think that's a possibility too. So this is not necessarily a wasted year uh, for that either. But you know, I think Curry's got some years left. So just saying that, you know, doesn't have to happen right now to make the right moves. You don't want to see the Warriors make a knee jerk reaction and trade for somebody, a big name or somebody that you might think can help, but ends up just being a problem. Uh, isn't going to give, you know, the 100% effort that you need to see Curry get to where he wants to be. Draymond Green had a great year last year. His percentage was up. His defense was spectacular. I mean, he wasn't scoring a lot of points every game, but he was scoring at a higher percentage, and he was moving the ball very well. If not for his suspensions, I think the Warriors would have been much deeper into the playoffs even last year. It's just they were in the playing game because Draymond was suspended for so much time that they, you know, dropped a lot of games that way. You know, they were only in the play-on game or out of the play-in game. They were in the play-in game, but only out of the playoffs by a couple of games. That would have made all the difference in the world if Draymond wasn't suspended. So, but there's a lot of players. I mean, we got Buddy Hield, who had one of the highest 3-point percentages in the entire league. We got him this year, and I know with Klay Thompson moving off onto the Mavericks, that's definitely not something anybody wants to see. But his defense dropped off a little bit because of the injury. He was a little bit slower. He wasn't shooting quite as well, and his, you know, so he was just slowing down. So it was a good move. I would love to have seen the Warriors sign him, but I just don't think that the money he was asking for. Um, I just don't think the guaranteed 3 years or so. I think that's probably what he wanted. He probably wanted a guarantee that he could be in the starting lineup, but it's just hard to say that. And that's not counting the playoffs where he missed like 12 threes in a row. That's an anomaly. That's not going to happen hardly ever. I just don't see that happening with him. You know, too often. So I wouldn't judge how he's going to play in the future based on that game, but he just did slow down. And so getting Buddy Hield in here, he's faster, he's good on defense, and he's got a great 3-point percentage. We don't know because we don't know what he's going to score with the Warriors or how he's going to score. I think he's going to get a lot more playing time with the Warriors than he had, you know, playing with another team, because he was only playing a certain amount of minutes. I think he was playing 10 minutes a game or something like that. Don't quote me, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of minutes. So I think the minutes are going to up here for him and the Warriors, and if he can keep shooting at that percentage and get more shots off, it's going to work out great for the team. And I do see the Warriors, as long as nobody gets suspended, Draymond doesn't get suspended, you know, for any of his antics or the things that he does. Um, you know, that they are going to be a playoff contender if they don't make a move at all. But we'll see what they do with Laurie Markkinen. It's, you know, we'll follow it. We'll talk about it. I'm going to be on this. I'm going to be on the channel 3 times a week at first. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'm going to be hopefully upping it to 4 or 5 times a week if I get enough subscribers and enough likes, so I can continue on with this. Thank you for watching the channel and watching these videos of me. I'm going to keep moving forward, and this is the first of many. I appreciate your support. So again, just hit the like and subscribe and to help me out. And we're going to talk Bay Area sports every week. It's going to be fun. And I'm just going to talk and give my, you know, opinion of what I think is going on in sports and how I feel about it. I'm not sure that when you watch sports nowadays that you get an honest opinion from somebody. A lot of it's for shock value. A lot of reporters out there are just saying things to throw things against the wall, see if it'll stick. I think just talking about things honestly and openly about what's really going on in sports and which players are doing well, who we think should be moved, who shouldn't be moved, what we think about our teams in the Bay Area here going forward, and it'll be fun. So thank you again for watching the video, and more to come.